What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and we are back after an inconclusive Friday. So here's what happened on Friday. We missed St. Mary's. They won by 3. Now, I was in the Discord channel. I had that. I took +5. So we wound up making that up. I was flat on that game. Oklahoma, Discord channel again, but I didn't make any plays on that game. I let it ride because I thought we were going to be okay, but we were not. North Carolina, I took 7. I pushed. I lost, so I ended up losing 1.2 units there. But Baylor and Oregon both win. That got us a +182 parlay hit, which made up for a lot of the losses yesterday. And then Colorado State won. So they go to their game up against Maryland, and they are big dogs, big dogs. So what are we gonna do? Well, I'm gonna wait. Okay, we're gonna wait and see what the numbers do. We're gonna wait and see what we get because right now it's about $3. So we could lay the $3, and then if they win, we win $1 and we're flat, or they lose and we win $1 with Colorado State, math-wise. You know what I mean? That's possible. I don't know what I'm doing yet. So we're going to wait and we're going to watch the market. We're going to watch how that game plays out, but we're sitting very pretty, and we may just wait to go in game. We may just to see if there's ever a chance to take, -120, -130, 140, somewhere in that range with Maryland on the money line between Colorado State and Maryland. So just know that we should make money on that, at least a unit, if not more, off that CSU win that they came back and then won quite easily against Memphis. So for that reason, we're heading into Sunday in a pretty good position to make some money and then to make up for the down 1.5 units that we were down today. We won 1.8 on Thursday, down 1.5 on Friday. It's kind of the way the week has been. But if we have a good Saturday and a good Sunday, it's going to be a winning week. So let's just continue with what we're doing. It's been a lot of fun. Live betting has been my friend. Hopefully it's been your friend too when it comes to the NCAA tournament. A lot of these games are coming right. I mean, look at the UConn-Oklahoma game. So the number is 5.5 or 6.5, right? Depending on what number you got, 5.5, 6, or 6.5. I mean, we're right there with a 3-point shot. They're up 7, UConn. They hit a 3 there. They go up by 4. We'll see what the free throw situation. They make one or miss one potentially. They win by 5. Instead, it's a missed shot, fouls, and they win by 9. So that's just sort of how the games are going to go. It's 1 or 2 shots that are coming right down to it for us. So that's a little frustrating. Now, I have 4 bets going. I've already given you Creighton +9.5. It's 9 in most places, but the Jays +9.5. Hopefully you guys got 10. The other 3 bets I'm going to give you right now, I don't think I'm going to add anything, but I might, okay? There's a possibility I could add something to the card. I may do a 2-leg moneyline parlay. I've hit that in hockey, in college basketball, 4 straight days. I've hit the 2-leg moneyline parlay. So I might want to do it again and try to do it for 5 straight days. I am going to be alongside Terrell Furman, not on Discord. They're moving us to Twitch. Why? They want us to go to Twitch. I've never done a Twitch stream before. I'm 47 years old. I don't know who watches Twitch. I don't watch Twitch, but people clearly do. So we're not going to use the BettingPros channel, however. We're going to borrow our sister station's channel, and we're going to go to twitch.tv/fantasypros. Twitch.tv/fantasypros. If somebody could be a real gem for me in the morning when you're listening to the Juice, go post that to the Discord channel. Give somebody the direct link so everyone can know where the live chat is going to be. Because generally speaking, we have about 200 or so people that are watching the Saturday morning live chat on Discord, which is the same time, by the way, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Same time as I've normally done it, except we're going to add Terrell Furman Jr., and we're going to move to Twitch, and Terrell and I both are going to break down the card for Saturday and Sunday for the second round. I will potentially look at the plays on Sunday. I haven't really done a really deep dive on the games on Sunday yet because I spent a lot of time on Saturday and I really don't like the bets I came up with. I'll explain that here in a second, but I played them. I'm just mad that I played them because I'll explain here in a second, but twitch.tv/fantasypros, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, Terrell Furman and myself live to break down the card for Saturday and Sunday for the second round of the NCAA Tournament. Now, couple things before I give you the picks and the plays. If you're looking for a book to get down on, here is a chance to do so with Bet365. The offer is still available for Daily Juice listeners. Bet365, you can turn $5 into $150 of bonus bets when you join Bet365. To claim the offer, just go to bettingpros.com/365 and deposit at least $10. If you place a bet of at least $5, you'll earn $150 in bonus bets. Again, that's bettingpros.com/365. 21 plus, must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, or Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-BETS-OFF if you live in Iowa. Terms and conditions do apply. All right. Why am I not liking my plays? Well, they're all dogs. I don't like it when I have either all favorites or all dogs. It concerns me. But I went through the games today, all 8 of them, and there's 4 bets that I like. And so let's go through it. First, the Creighton Blue Jays at +9.5. If you want the full breakdown, go watch yesterday's podcast. It has the full breakdown as to why I like the Jays at +9.5 up against Auburn today. Love the time, 7:10 Eastern time for that game. Love that. Let's talk about UCLA and Tennessee. The number's 5.5. The total for this game is super low. I mean, really, really low for a college basketball game of this magnitude. 133. It's 133 at open. It's down to 131 at Circa. When I see a total this low between two teams that play outstanding defense, Tennessee is 3rd in defensive efficiency. UCLA is 15th. Tennessee is 3rd in effective field goal percentage. UCLA is a bit worse at 128, but they turn the ball over a ton. They are 7th in turnover percentage, and Tennessee tends to turn the ball over a bit more than you would like. They're 84th in turnover percentage, 7th for UCLA. Talking about defense, Tennessee defense is 4th in three-point shooting. They're 25th in two-point shooting. I mean, UCLA is not as good. They're 93rd in three-point shooting and 187th in two-point, but it's not dramatic. It's 46.6 to 51.1. And just overall pace of play, UCLA is 312th in pace of play, and Tennessee is 346th in pace of play. So what would be the bet? The bet would be under, okay? But here is the thing. If you've been noticing the way that I have bet over the last couple of weeks, I have stopped betting totals. And the reason why I've stopped betting totals is because on a neutral court and with referees that I'm not all that comfortable saying how the game is going to be called, that I think we're flying blind a little bit here with this. Tennessee is going to have the home court advantage, if you will. Okay, this game is in Lexington, Kentucky. It is not a far drive for Volunteer fans from Knoxville and Nashville to get up to go watch this game in Lexington. So there's going to be a lot of orange in that building. UCLA always travels. It's UCLA, but it's a flight on a drive. I don't know what will happen here in this game because a part of me says automatically bet the under. Like this is a dead under game. But if it's a dead under game, we should 100% be looking at the dog because I think UCLA is going to be able to score enough to keep this game close. Like, do we think that the Volunteers run away with this game? I don't. It's a 5-point win according to KenPom, 67 to 62. Numbers 5.5. So we get a little value there with that. The Volunteers won their first game 77-62 over Wofford. Big whoop, right? Not going to jump up and down about that. Utah State, the win for UCLA, they won their game 72-47. This is where I might actually subscribe to the idea that Mick Cronin is going to be a better tournament coach on a quick turnaround than Rick Barnes. Mick Cronin's a very good coach in the tournament. Rick Barnes has been a very good coach, but not been a Final Four consistent or national champion. It's one thing he has not won. I just tend to, when we're talking about a total of 131 and I have over a possession, I'm going to take the dog more often than not. And I'm taking the dog here. I'm taking UCLA at plus 5.5 to keep this game close. Do I think they win? I don't. But I do think this is going to come down to crunch time, and we're going to be able to, at some point during the game, take Tennessee. If you have access to your sports books, take 5.5 for UCLA, and then look to middle it, okay? Look to take Tennessee on the other side. So either you win nothing or you win both bets, okay? That's how I'm going to approach this game. I don't think Tennessee runs away with it, but the only way we get really screwed on that is if the Volunteers go up by like 15 points in the first 4 minutes. Something crazy, right? Like what Oregon did last night to Liberty, right? It was 16-2 to start that game. That game was over. As long as we don't get one of those, I think we're going to be able to hedge and have a chance at a middle. So I'm taking UCLA at plus 5.5. I do think that number falls somewhere in that range of 0 to 5. I think the Vols win, but I think we're going to have a chance to have a lead for UCLA at some point during this game where we can take Tennessee plus points and be on plus on both sides of this game. Okay, second play. Let's talk about Drake. Drake is catching 7 points here to Texas Tech. This is a 7-point win, according to KenPom. This is a hard handicap. I'm not going to lie. But I also think Drake is a difficult team to prep for if you're Texas Tech. Do the Red Raiders have more firepower? Abso-flippin'-lutely. I mean, JT Toppin is a tremendous talent and a really difficult player to handle. But this isn't a very big team. Texas Tech is sort of like a more talented version of Drake in some ways. They're 268th in tempo. Drake, they are 364th in tempo. Both teams are going to play really slow. I talked about this when we took Drake against Missouri, that the Drake Bulldogs have 4 players from Northwest Missouri State. 3 of those players won back-to-back national championships at the D2 level. They understand tournament basketball. They understand tournament pressure. 7 points is heavy in my mind. And Bennett Sturts played so well. He has to play that well again against Texas Tech, and it might be asking a lot. But I don't think Drake gets blown out by Texas Tech. Again, this is a Drake team that beat Miami, that beat Florida Atlantic, that beat Vanderbilt, that beat Kansas State, that now beat Missouri by 10. Didn't just beat Missouri. They beat them by 10. Texas Tech beat UNC Wilmington, but they had a little trouble with them. Like that game wasn't that easy for Texas Tech. There was some stress on that. They won by 10, but there was a little stress there for Texas Tech with UNC Wilmington. Look, Toppin played 31 minutes. That may be a little bit more than what they thought he was going to. He scored just 12 points. Walton scored 27 points in that game. Does he repeat that? Probably not for Texas Tech. Red Raiders most likely win this game, but I'm not going to be stunned if Ben McCollum doesn't take this Drake team to the Sweet 16 and they win this game outright. I mean, people in Des Moines have been saying this for the last couple of weeks, that to get ready for the fact that Drake is going to be the darling of this tournament and that Bennett Sturts is going to become a household name, and everyone's going to be talking about Bennett Sturts on Monday about what the 6'4" kid from Drake was able to do, putting his team on his back and going for it. Drake was a 6.5-point dog to Missouri. They won the game by 10 outright. They're a 7-point dog to Texas Tech. I'm taking the points. I'm not going to get off this. Drake, Creighton, my 2 teams, I'm betting on them, okay? I'm taking them. Let's see what they can do here, okay? According to KenPom, Creighton's going to lose by 10. I have 9.5. According to KenPom, Drake's going to lose by 7. I have plus 7. Fine. I like dogs here. And finally, let's talk about BYU. You can just bet money line here. I mean, this is like two teams looking in the mirror in a lot of ways in my mind. Like this is BYU is 9th in efficiency. Wisconsin is 13th in offensive efficiency. BYU is 6th in effective field goal percentage. Wisconsin is 60th. But 3-point shooting, 31st for BYU, 121st for Wisconsin, 5th in 2-point shooting for BYU offensively, 43rd for Wisconsin in 2-point shooting. Number 1 free throw shooting team in the country is Wisconsin. They are a team that they don't play extremely fast, but they play 149th in tempo. They're way faster than the other 4 teams we just talked about. And for BYU, they're 183rd, kind of similar to the way that Wisconsin plays. They want to go ahead and shoot a lot of threes. They beat VCU 80 to 71. 3-point shooting came in for BYU. They shot 7 of 20. That's actually lower than what I thought they were going to shoot. VCU actually shot better from behind the arc than BYU did. The difference is that BYU got to the foul line a ton. They shot 28 free throws to just 6 for VCU. Huge discrepancy at the foul line there for BYU. And look, I got involved with Wisconsin a little bit here. You know, according to KenPom, this is a win for Wisconsin. It's a 3-point win for Wisconsin, according to KenPom. The number is 1.5. Okay, opened at 2. Been bet down. Why? I think it's altitude. I think it's Denver. I think there's going to be more fans there for BYU. I have BYU going pretty far in the dance, farther than most people here. I think BYU wins this game outright. And I think as long as they don't go ice cold from the 3-point line, which I don't expect them to do, as long as they don't just completely are ice, this is a team that could be playing for a while here in this tournament. I have them winning this game outright. I then have them going up against, I have St. Mary's. We'll talk about that later, but I'm going to watch that St. Mary's line. Hopefully that line climbs. I want as many points as possible, but I have St. Mary's beating Alabama. But even if Bama wins that game, I think BYU could beat Alabama, and you could very well see BYU in the Elite Eight. And I think BYU then will run into Duke, and they'll lose to Duke. But I think that's going to be pretty wild. I mean, I have a couple of brackets I've done very well with. In the West, I have the West bracket perfect at the moment. All those teams left. Florida, UConn. Did I take UConn? No, I think it's Oklahoma. So no, that's not the one I have right. What bracket do I have right? Oh, the East. I have the East right with Duke and Baylor, Oregon, Arizona, BYU, Wisconsin, and St. Mary's and Alabama. It's gone according to seed. And so what's wild is that all top 4 seeds are still alive in every bracket. We haven't had a major upset yet in college basketball. So Florida, St. John's, Texas Tech, and Maryland are all still available in the West. Auburn, Michigan State, Iowa State, and Texas A&M all still alive in the South. Duke, Alabama, Wisconsin, and Arizona are all still alive in the East. And Houston, UCLA, Kentucky, and Purdue are alive in the Midwest. It's been a while since that's happened. I think it's 2017. I think that was the last time that happened for us to see that. So could we be in for a chaotic Sunday? I'm hoping so, and hoping we see a lot of dogs bark here. BYU plus 1.5 here for tonight. All right, so here are the 4 plays that I have. I may add a moneyline parlay to this card, but as of right now, Creighton plus 9.5 against Auburn, UCLA plus 5.5 against Tennessee, BYU plus 1.5 against Wisconsin, and Drake plus 7 against Texas Tech. I do not like the fact that I am all on all dogs. I'll admit that. I don't like that, but each bet and each handicap is individual. So that's just how the card fell. Hopefully it's an accurate one. Maybe more to come. We'll talk to you on the Twitch channel coming up here this morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time, with Terrell Furman and myself, twitch.tv/fantasypros for a conversation about the second round for Saturday and Sunday games. I'll give you an idea of what I'm leaning towards on Sunday. I don't have any bets officially in except for Colorado State, but we're hedging off of that, so it's not really that CSU Maryland game is not yet to be determined. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every single morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.